Good morning, children. This is Seema Prabhakaran. We'll continue with our civics lesson, the parliamentary government, the executive. In our previous video, we talked about the Prime Minister. Today, we'll begin with the new topic, Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers consists of three categories of ministers: Cabinet Ministers, Ministers of States, and Deputy Ministers. The Cabinet, on the other hand, is a smaller group consisting of senior ministers of the Cabinet rank. Size of the Council of Ministers. The Constitution's 91st Amendment Act, which was done in 2003, limits the size of the Union Council of Ministers to 15% of the total number of members of the Lok Sabha. Categories of Ministers. All ministers, however, do not belong to the same rank. Usually, there are three categories of ministers: Cabinet ministers or members of the cabinet; second, ministers of state; third, deputy ministers. The cabinet ministers hold major portfolios like home, defense, finance, etc. Only the cabinet ministers have the right to attend meetings of the cabinet. The ministers of state are not members of the cabinet. The deputy ministers are junior ministers. They are placed under senior ministers whom they assist. Let's find out about the powers and functions of these ministers. The Council of Ministers have enormous powers and manifold responsibilities. Formulation of policies. The cabinet formulates external and domestic policies of the government. It takes decisions on all major issues such as defense, economic reforms, and formation of new states. Second, administrative functions. The cabinet is essentially a policy framing body. The appropriate ministry carries out the policies determined by the cabinet. Financial responsibilities. The cabinet is responsible for the expenditures of the government and for raising necessary revenues to meet it. Fourth is legislative function. The legislative powers of the cabinet are: first, although the houses are summoned by the president, initiative in this matter is taken by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Second, the cabinet prepares the president's special address to the parliament. Third, in the matter of issuing ordinances, the president acts on the advice of the ministers. Fourth, the cabinet may also move an amendment to the constitution. Fifth, more than 95% of the bills are government bills and are prepared by ministers. They are introduced and defended in the parliament by the ministers. Let's talk about the ministerial responsibility. Ministerial responsibility is the essential feature of parliamentary form of government. The principle of ministerial responsibilities has two dimensions: collective responsibility and individual responsibility. First, let's talk about collective responsibility. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the House of the People or the Lok Sabha. The ministers are responsible to the Lok Sabha not only as individuals but also collectively. Members of the cabinet swim and sink together. When a decision has been taken by the cabinet, every minister has to stand by it without hesitation. A ministry that has lost the confidence of the Lok Sabha must resign. Second was individual responsibility. Though the ministers are collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha, they shall also be individually responsible to the head of state. The ministers hold office during the pleasure of the president. It implies that the ministers shall be liable to be dismissed by the president for their undesirable activities. However, in these matters, the president acts on the advice of the prime minister. That's all for today's class. Thank you and have a nice day.